Our youngsters must say, this is my country. I want to work 70 hours a week. This is exactly what Germans and Japanese did after the Second World War.
Yes.
I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I'll be more happier. Because I work on Sundays also. What do you do sitting at home? How long can you stare at your wives? How long can the wife stare at your husband? Come on, get to the office and start working.
Why Indian CEOs are in a race to announce maximum working hours per week for their employees. Some ask to work 70 hours, others ask to work 90 hours per week, and why their employees shouldn't take the bait. To understand this, first we have to ask ourselves, why do we work? We work to earn money in order to have the buying power. Imagine in an alternate universe where humans didn't evolve as much as we have done and live life like other animals do. There, we would have to produce everything we would want to consume. We could be like hunter gatherers or produce our own food and live an agriculture based lifestyle. Animals in the wild only eat when they hunt, that is for carnivores. Herbivores find plant based vegetables, fruits, grains, leaves, etc. There's no guarantee that they will find food every day, let alone 3 times a day. They live near some water sources and drink water from lakes and rivers, which are full of danger. Throughout their evolution, they never got the time or could accumulate enough food and water resources so that they could focus their attention on making clothes for themselves to keep them warm from the cold environment around them, let alone making further technological progress. Most of the other species don't have homes, though birds evolved to build their nest, beavers build dams and underwater homes, some reptiles build underground burrows, bees build honeycombs, etc. But most of the mammals, amphibians, and fishes live in their open surrounding. Some can find caves, but they didn't build it, and stronger animals would most certainly chase them out. In other words, if humans were like animals, we would only consume what we produce, and that won't be much. We could do one thing or another, but most importantly, we would be busy arranging our food and water every day. But somewhere through our evolution, we found a way to trade and exchange things which we produce with one another. Initially, this was through a barter system, that is, someone cultivated and harvested rice, somebody else hunted birds or animals, and a third person came and made them an offer they simply couldn't refuse. He took their rice and dead animal and cooked them biryani. Just kidding. Imagine early man craving biryani. Hilarious, isn't it? But you get the gist. We could only consume things which we grow, accumulate, or build ourselves. Then families or tribes would share the work, produce together a few different things, and then share everything and consume together. The family here refers to the older, bigger families with many adults, older people, and children living together, not the modern nuclear families with two adults and one or two children. Everybody would have their different strength and would all contribute according to their strength. Their emotional bonding for each other would remove any insecurities among themselves. Some would indulge in agriculture, some in cattle rearing for their milk, meat, eggs, and fur. Some may even hunt, some doing household chores like cooking, cleaning, washing, etc. Some building and maintaining their house, some weaving clothes, some building furnitures like beds, tables, cupboards, sofas, etc. Some providing security from robbers, thieves, and wild animals. All in all, everyone would contribute and everyone would consume. But still, they could only consume what they together produce. However, when other people wanted something that this family or tribe has, or vice versa, that is, this tribe wanted something which other tribe has, they would need to give something in exchange. This goes for both families and individuals. This gave rise to barter trade, that is, exchanging something for other things of equal value so that neither party feels deprived. As an example of the barter trade, imagine a farmer with eggs and milk can trade them to the local baker for a birthday cake and a loaf of bread. The baker then uses the milk and eggs to bake more bread, which she gives to the appliance repairman as payment for repairing her oven. The value here I talked about earlier refers to the amount of work and effort it takes to produce those things. Barter system turned out to be an inefficient system as it needed first double coincidence of wants. That is, both parties needed to have what the other wanted for a barter trade to occur. Second, lack of a common unit of measurement. There was no standard unit of account to assess the value of goods against each other because valuing one good or service against another on the fly was problematic as you can't estimate how much work and effort goes into making it. Third, indivisibility of goods. If a person only had one indivisible unit of a good that's worth more than what they wanted to buy, a barter transaction couldn't occur. For example, imagine a bed which is larger and worth much more than a kg of rice, but you can't cut a portion of the bed and exchange it for the rice. Fourth, difficulty in storing wealth. Storing wealth for the future was essential but became impractical as the society relied on many perishable goods. Fifth, unbalanced trade system. Parties weren't able to find others willing to trade at the same time they wanted to trade. For example, if I want to buy something today, but what I have, nobody else wants to take it today, maybe they want it next week, so I won't be able to trade today. And six was depreciation of goods. Most goods depreciate over time, making them less attractive for trade. Because of these inefficiencies, people needed an alternative system to trade and found values in metals, which were required for making tools and weapons, among its other uses. Metals had universal use, were divisible into infinitesimally small pieces, and then can be melted and formed into bigger units, can be stored for long periods of time, and doesn't depreciate in value. These characteristics of metals remove all the inefficiencies of the barter trade. With time, metals like gold, silver, and coppers were formed into coins to easily carry, account, and pay one another. Several tiers of gold, silver, and copper coins were developed of different values. Gold coins were most valuable and were used for large purchases, payment of military, and backing of state activities. Silver coins were used for intermediate sized transactions, while copper coins were used for smaller everyday transactions. Mixture of several other metals along with copper and silver, called alloy, were also formed into coins to denote several smaller values. These coins were used as unit of account and allowed the value of all other goods and services to be measured in these units. For example, the cost of a chariot can be measured as so many units of a gold coin. All these developments made trading very easy, exchanging with each other goods and services which we produce and allowed us to consume what others produce. Slowly with time, people went from producing everything for their need to producing only the things they are best in making and which allows them to sell their produce for maximum amount of money. And they can go around with this money. Earlier it were metal coins, then came currency notes as metals were heavy to carry around. Now it's just numbers in our bank accounts which can be transferred to each other through plastic cards, wire transfers, or electronic payments like NEFT and UPI. But in any of these forms, money provides us the buying power, which can further be broken down as the power to consume what others produce. In simpler words, we can either produce all that we want to consume or buy from others what they produce by exchanging what we have produced. Money just facilitates this exchange. Now let's go back to the original question. Why founders and CEOs want their employees to work extra hours? From this point on, let's assume every individual, family, or group selling their products as running their own business. They produce what they were best in and sold for maximum amount of money that they could make in the market. Over time, people who were good at selling their product, either through better quality or perception, got richer and saw the demand for their goods or services increase over what they could individually produce. At the same time, there were people who were either not able to produce what other people wanted or were not good at selling, so they got poorer over time and saw their means of production shrink. Those who were better at their business saw an opportunity to employ these people, train them, let them help to produce more goods, which could be sold due to higher demand, and thereby making money for the business. In return, they would pay these employees a part of the extra earnings commensurate with their time and effort to produce those. This was a win-win situation for all parties concerned, as employers got extra earning for their business organization skills, employees got work and earned money for their livelihood, and customers got the product that they wanted to buy. This business arrangement evolved into the modern day big corporations and MNCs that we see today, which comprises of many different departments with unique functionalities. But most people working there don't even know other departments and what their functions are. For example, imagine a car manufacturing company. Those working in a car manufacturing company in the operations team would not know who are working in the finance department, which could be in another city, and what their job is. Similarly, those in the finance department would not know anyone from the sales or the IT department and what exactly they do day to day. But at their core, all businesses produce some goods or service and sell those to its customers in exchange for money. Some produce raw materials, others purchase those raw materials and convert those to finished goods, while yet others provide services to their customers. But now, employees don't have a direct link or understanding of how much of their effort was spent in producing those goods or services. They negotiate some salary while joining the company, which is usually the highest they can get of all alternative employment opportunities that they had, and similarly, HRs on behalf of their company try to negotiate the minimum possible payout they have to give. Now, I will make a separate small video on some negotiation tactics that you could use while negotiating your salary, benefits, and work hours, and attach that at the end of this video. But for now, you have to understand that the companies no longer sees employees as their fellow tribesmen who are involved with them in the activity of producing and selling something, thereby together earning the buying power to consume what others produce. Rather, they see employees as other party which is selling their service to the business and the company is buying that service, so they want the maximum amount of work to be done by these employees as part of the deal at the same price. Now it's important to mention here that they are not talking about employees working 70 or 80 hours at 80 hours of pay, because this can be solved by hiring two people to work 40 hours each. What the CEOs are asking for is literally slavery, that employees work extra hours at their current salary. This is what those CEOs are looking for. This is your answer. Now, in the advertising world, this is called added value, as those are given away for free of cost. In a country like India, where the tax paying middle class and most white collar employees fall in this category, white collar employees could be those working in the IT field or finance or sales and marketing, legal departments, all of those would come in the middle class. And you have to understand that the tax paying middle class is neither the vote bank nor the money bank for the politicians, so they are not going to come to your rescue to improve your work life balance. Rather, the politicians and the rich elites are using nationalism as a propaganda for their own benefit. That is, they need you to work more for their own benefit. Ultimately, this will all come down to demand and supply. If there are people willing to clock in 60, 70, 80 hours a week for 48 hours salary, they will get employed before others. If the best ones are willing to walk away and leave some money on the table for the standard 48 hours work week, then employees will prevail. In essence, employees have to understand that they are selling their service to the company. That is their business. It's what they do to earn their buying power and so negotiate like one.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Bruce?
And yes, the rhetoric that hard work is important for your advancement is correct. So rather than spending extra hours in office, be smart and spend the same time building your own side business or upscaling your skills. After all, when the country becomes richer, you'd want to be the part of top 1% too, won't you? So that's all for this video. A small video on negotiation tactics is coming up shortly. Until then, see ya.